No cluster foxtrots in this unit, am I right, Eric?
Yeah, correct.
So we're taking a look at Bangalore. You've been playing a lot of Bangalore. She has a passive, which is double time, a tactical, which is smoke launcher, and her ultimate, which is rolling thunder. Why don't we just start with her passive, double time?
Yeah, double time's awesome because as long as you're sprinting, if you take any fire at all, even if it doesn't hit you, I believe, you're always going to run even faster, which allows you to get to cover better. It allows you to kind of like reorganize yourself or tell your team like, hey, someone's shooting at me. Also, it's great for like flanking. It also gives you the ability to attack your opponent, right? Like you're going to run even faster. So I think as a passive, it's probably one of the best.
Reloading. Recharging my shields.
And then her smoke launcher, which is probably what you're going to be using the most if you play her.
Yeah, smoke launcher is great. You get up to 2 canisters. It allows you to revive your teammates a little bit safer. Obviously, as the meta progresses now, people are starting to chuck grenades in there and starting to just run into the smoke, but still it kind of gives you that cover that makes it harder for the enemy to kill you, right, as you're reviving. And also, the smoke canister can be used to disorient your enemies. So one of the strategies Rob had mentioned is you shoot one at the enemy, you shoot one at yourself, so then they kind of don't know where you are anymore. You can also use it to like heal yourself, you know, recharge your shields. Sometimes you can use it to like get across the map when you're trying to get to a circle, to a building, because you need that cover to just make it harder for the enemy to hit you. There's many applications for the smoke launcher. I would say it even pairs very well with Bloodhound, you know, because if Bloodhound pops their ult, you shoot the canister at them, they're disoriented, Bloodhound can see exactly where they're at, and they can just shred them. Someone has a self. Yeah! I did that! That was me! Bloodhound! I think another point that you want to talk about too maybe is digital threat and how that could work out as well.
Yeah, so I found usually if you find a digital threat, it's good to pass that along to Bangalore because she's in control of the smoke. Therefore, if she has that, it's easier for her to see the people in the smoke. So she can fire the smoke at the other team and then aim that. Especially, I was using that with a wingman and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, one of my favorite scopes for the wingman, for sure.
And then another thing I found useful for the smoke launcher is if a teammate dies and you're calling them back in, I usually fire smoke at the respawn beacon. And then finally, we have her ultimate rolling thunder, which I'm kind of confused when to use exactly. Usually I just end up hanging on to it and forget I have it.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Sometimes it's hard for me to use too, but I think some good applications for it is, you know, let's say you have a team that's hiding behind like rocks or cover, throw that at them to kind of get them out of that cover, right? Because they know the artillery strike is coming down. They can see the rockets in the ground and they're like, oh crap, we can't stay here anymore because we're gonna get stunned because this thing also stuns, right?
It's not as deadly as Gibraltar's, right?
Yeah,
but it does some stunning as well.
Yeah, it doesn't do as much damage as Gibraltar's, but it does still do damage and it also stuns, right? And the stun can lead to death. If you're also able to kind of like charge forward and you feel confident that, okay, they're going to either get hit by this or they're going to be out of position because of the rolling thunder, then that's a good application. I think I've also used it as I'm running away. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they're chasing us. I'm going to try to throw it behind us so that there's something kind of impeding them wanting to chase us, or they kind of have to go around it, or maybe they'll just freak out because they see the rockets in the ground. It is kind of like a tougher ultimate to use that I haven't found like necessarily the best case for it, but those are some of the use cases I found more successful.
Yeah, and then moving on to final thoughts, I think one last thing, which you did talk about how Bloodhound and Bangalore pair well together, but that's also a weakness to Bangalore. Like if another team has a Bloodhound, they can use their vision to see her.
Yeah, I've definitely been lucky enough where I was the Bloodhound and I was like, oh, you're trying to revive your teammate. I have my ultimate up. Thanks for giving me 2 kills now, right? I think Bangalore, as one of the legends, is one of the most kind of versatile across the board. She has
good for beginners.
Yeah, great kit just across the board. She has a good passive, a strong tactical, and a pretty good ultimate.
Well, anyway, that is our guide on Bangalore. We're going to have plenty of these later, so stay tuned to GameSpot.